It's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and as we all know, 2020 has been quite a year, especially for bakers and small business owners. So around my area, and I know a lot of other places around the world, we've been doing different things as bakers to try and make money. It's been really challenging, but these are the ideas that I have seen cropping up all over the internet, and I've also seen it really working in my local area to help bakers profit. So whether you work at an at-home bakery or if you own your own commercial bakery, I have got the top items for you that you need to sell right now in 2020 to make a profit. Okay, I swear, I'm not sponsored by coconuts or whoever sells coconuts, but if you saw in my Instagram story, I was drinking one of these with my son, and honestly, it is the most refreshing thing I've ever had. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please make sure to follow me if you want to see little baking tidbits or behind the scenes footage of the things that I do, or sometimes I even post about my life if you care about that sort of thing. So the first thing is DIY cookie and cupcake kits. I don't know why, but when everything started going down in 2020, you know what I'm talking about, these started cropping up everywhere, and they're really easy to make. So for the cupcake kit, all you're really doing is you're taking your cupcakes uniced, and then you are providing buttercream frosting. I would suggest that if you are going to be doing these DIY kits, American buttercream does reign supreme in this case, just because if people are leaving out their Italian meringue buttercream, it spoils a little bit more easily than your average American buttercream. So that's why I do suggest that. Rachel, I know you are thinking that I have crossed over to your side, but I have not. Anyway, and then the other thing you want to include is you want to include some sprinkles or toppings. A really great thing that people are doing as well is they are making kind of themed kits. So if you wanted to make your own animal cupcake, for example, then you would include the fondant pieces or whatever candy pieces or toppings that you would like. In future, I'll probably end up doing some sort of DIY cupcake kit, but I don't have any up right now. There's lots on the internet already that are fabulous. So go and check one of those out if you're not really quite sure what I mean by a DIY cupcake kit. Same thing goes for DIY cookie kits. It's really the same principle, but instead you're going to be using royal icing and just blank cookies. There are different ways to do this, of course. I'm actually going to be working on a tutorial where I do a DIY cookie kit, so hopefully that will be up by the end of the week. Now, why are these so popular? Why should you be making them? Well, chances are during this time you don't have as many custom orders as you usually do. If you've seen in my previous pricing videos and how to make a profit videos, then you know that I personally received a lot of my profits from custom orders. I did not do a lot of stock orders. However, if you own your own bakery, it's a lot easier to just have stock product lying around all the time. And these DIY kits are so perfect right now because chances are you're making your stuff in bulk anyway. So you might as well just leave a few blank. What's great too is a lot of bakeries have staff that is more suited for decorating and more suited for front work and customer service. But your customer service people can do this job as well. It's a job that your whole bakery staff can do because it doesn't really take finesse or any special skills to be able to put these DIY boxes together. So during those downtimes, you really can just sit there making those boxes over and over and over. And it really depends on how you want to do it. If you want to make a finite amount of boxes and say it's first come, first serve, then you can totally do that. It does limit the amount of profit you're going to be making, obviously, but if that's what's going to help you and not overwork you, then I say do that. But if you want to make them so that they can order these DIY kits as well, that's fabulous too. Right now in summertime, luckily people are able to get out a bit more, but fall is just around the corner. And as soon as that weather changes over and as soon as kids start really going back to school, there is going to be a lot of staying at home time. So these DIY kits not only give the comfort of a delicious cupcake or cookie, but they also offer a special activity for kids to do when they're stuck with nothing else to do. Plus, the other draw of this is that sure, they could make their own DIY cupcakes at home, but how cool is it to get your favorite cupcake from your favorite bakery that you get to make yourself? This is just a bit of a guide on how to price your DIY cupcake or cookie kits. Now, even though you don't have to do the work of piping the cupcake, as bakers, we all know how quickly we can pipe cupcakes. So really, that's not what we're charging for. We're usually charging for the ingredients and the amount of time it takes to put all those ingredients together and make those delicious baked goods. So for a cupcake kit of 6, I would suggest you charge somewhere around $25 to $35. Cookie kits can be slightly cheaper because, as we know, buttercream is very expensive since it contains so much butter. Your royal icing is going to be a little bit cheaper, so you can bring that down however you see fit. I would probably charge somewhere in the realm of $20 to $30 per 6 cookies. The next thing on my list is kind of piggybacking onto the same idea. PYO cookie kits. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's paint your own cookies. Paint your own cookies have kind of been trending for a little while now, but I find that it's trending a lot right now just because, again, the same idea as the DIY cookie kit or cupcake kit. People want to let their creative juices flow and to do their own thing. These do require a little bit more work from you than the DIY kits, but it's really, really simple. If you nail your flooding consistency, you can literally take that cookie, dip it in, and you're done. And then if you have a whole bunch of stencils, I really suggest stencils if you're going to be making these in bulk. You can literally just swipe and just keep swiping that black frosting through, and it's a super quick process. I have a video up here to show you how to do it with stencils. I also have another video as well showing you how to do it with piping. But I will say that if you are going to pipe your PYO cookies, that kind of negates the ease of selling these in your bakery in bulk. The other great thing is, sure, you can create your own palettes and you can airbrush different pieces of royal icing to create those little paint pots. It's really easy and you can do it with just a dab of water to activate those paints. But they also sell these paint strips online as well where you don't even have to do anything. And you can buy those little paint brushes as well in bulk. For one paint your own cookie, I would charge about $8 for that little cookie kit. Now that might seem a little bit steep, but you get your own paintbrush, you get a fully decorated cookie, and you're also giving them an activity. I also suggest making your paint your own cookies a little bit larger so that it's more of a substantial thing, so that people will feel a little bit more inclined to purchase something that might be a little bit on the pricier side. I mean, you go to Starbucks or something and a cookie is about $4 or $5 after tax. So really that $8 isn't that ridiculous if you make that cookie a little bit bigger. These are also great because you can theme them as well. Halloween is coming up and you could make a whole bunch of Halloween paint your own cookies. You can also make generic themes as well. And pretty much anything that I'm going to be talking about today, you can theme so that it fits whatever season or whatever is going on at your bakery that you want to promote. Cake jars. Now, cake jars are awesome. And I actually think even after all this 2020 business is over and people are spending more time outside, cake jars are something that are going to transcend time. And the reason that I say that is because cake jars are so beneficial for you as the owner of your bakery to make. Jars themselves are pretty cheap, especially if you buy them in bulk. And what is a cake jar? Well, really, you're taking your cake scraps or your cake tops that you're making from your cakes and you're putting them into jars and layering them with beautiful buttercream. You can mix up your flavors. You could make them seasonal flavors. But the best part about this is that you're using up that leftover cake. When I used to work at a bakery, the amount of cake that we threw out was insane. After a while, we did change our protocols for that and we ended up not wasting. But oh my goodness, you do not want to waste, especially because basically when you're wasting, you're throwing down your money into the garbage can. So this is a great way to use up your leftover cake tops without having to make cake pops. Cake pops take way longer to make than these cake jars. And I also find that the cake turns out obviously quite dense in a cake pop, but cake jars keep them nice and light and fluffy. Cake jars are great too because they're in that little jar, so they keep for a little bit longer, I would say, than your average cupcake that's just sitting out. So they keep well, they look fantastic, A lot of brides are ordering them now. And what's great is that you can make these cake jars look rustic, glam. You can really make them your own. But honestly, the biggest sell for me as a baker, and if I were selling still, I would definitely say they eliminate a lot of waste, they look great, and they taste great.
Honestly, the most expensive thing about making these cake jars is probably just the jar itself, but we also do have to keep in mind that you made the cake and you are making the buttercream or the filling and whatever extra toppings you want to put on there. So you do want to price fairly. I would say anywhere from $7 to $10 would be a reasonable price for a cake jar. These are not overwhelmingly large cake jars. You want it to be something that somebody can finish in 1 or 2 sittings.
Final thing that I want to share with you that is just blowing up is treat boxes. And you might have seen the most recent treat box I made for my brother-in-law. It is a Star Wars treat box. Have no fear, because I'm going to be publishing a video where I show you how to make a chocolate peanut butter treat box. So make sure that you follow up with me in a couple days so you can see how I do that, what I put into my boxes. Now you might be wondering what's so special about a treat box, because you can walk into any bakery and go bam, 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 those are the things that I want done. True, but a lot of people aren't wanting to go into the shop and look. A lot of people are wanting curbside pickup or just something that they can quickly pick up. Or if you've ever done this before, whenever I send my husband into a store or any place and I say, get whatever, get a selection of things, I don't know about you, but my husband, he gets choked up. He feels like he's on the spot for a decision. So these eliminate all of that. Curbside friendly pickup, and you get a selection of the best things at the bakery. So you don't want to include everything inside of this treat box. You could, but I think that putting in your top sellers or the things that are most popular or something that is a seasonal box would be fantastic. And I am by no means someone that went to marketing school. I went to education school, which they did not teach any of this. But I will say this, the eye is really drawn to seeing everything all together. It's funny, like when I see a cupcake by itself on Instagram, I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. But when I see the cupcakes, the brownies, the cookies, and it's all put together, it really, really makes me want to eat them. And it makes me want to see, oh, what's this bakery doing? This is a little bit different. Now, I know not everyone will think like me, but that's just what I think. And I think it really is appealing to people to have all those treats in one box and that they're different. They follow different flavor profiles, perhaps. Having that variety is really nice for people. The treat box is great because you can also make those prices vary. You could have a $20 treat box, which is maybe just your base level treat box. And then maybe you could have a $50 treat box, which includes maybe some things that are a little bit more gourmet or luxurious, whatever you want. But they are a draw. When you post those treat boxes on social media, it makes people kind of be like, whoa, hey, I think I might want that for tonight's dinner party or something of the sort. There's a local bakery here that serves the best pastries, and whenever she uploads pictures where I can see a ton of her pastries all together, it really makes me want to have all of them. So that is why I think treat boxes are a great idea. So those are the items that I think you should be selling right now in 2020. Normally I don't talk about stock items, but these were honestly too good to pass up. I've seen them flying off the shelves. I've had fellow baker friends talk to me about how well they're doing selling these things. So I hope that you find one or all of these very useful, and I hope you start selling them in your bakery. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of this Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading daily, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys. Bye!